much hot.
Hello and welcome back. Big Nick Burt with the Big Nick Energy. Thank you for stopping by the channel. Got that good win in Orlando last night. Great chance. Let's hear it.
Barrett putting on the Toppin.
That's right. RJ Barrett. Yeah, we love that. We love that. Yes, best fans in the league. And these players are really enjoying themselves, all right? So keep showing up, everybody, all right? Keep showing up. Keep showing them that love, that positivity, because that's what it's all about, to get, the best environment for these players to play in. And that is Madison Square Garden, the Mecca, all right? World's most famous arena, best place to play basketball, in my opinion. You might differ, but I don't care about that. So, without any further ado, I'd like to just hop right into this. I got about 3 minutes, 20 seconds of footage to look at, and I am jumping at the bit because this game was very, very remarkable. First of all, the first play of the game, RJ Barrett's bringing the ball up. You'll love to see it. The confidence from the young man. Fournier sets a little screen for Toppin to come back to the ball. Mitch kind of sets a Burks is running baseline. RJ kicks it to Toppin when he gets open. Toppin gives it right back. Curls off of a Mitch pick. Look at this. Wide open for three. And that's to start the game. And if you noticed Obi Toppin on that corner right there on the elbow, he's like, yes, because he knows RJ Barrett with an open three-pointer is cash money. And that was just to start the game. So that put us up 3-0 to start. And that's the way I like to start those games. That looked really, really solid. That was a nice movement play. A lot of different options he could have went to, but got an open three-pointer. Can't be mad with that. Toppin bringing the ball up. He notices RJ with a smaller defender on him. So he feeds him. And he just waits. Toppin is playing that relief valve. I talked about this a lot in my last video. It is essential to have the relief valve, someone to kick the ball out to if you get trapped. Now, RJ, he's not even in trouble. He's got this guy. He gets him all the way down to the block. He's looking for the shot. He's like, you know what? I got 1, 2, 3 guys, plus the fourth guy there on Mitch. So what do we see? Brazdekis out there having to cover Burks, Fournier, and Toppin. So even if he went out to Toppin and covered him, it would have swung, and we would have got an open shot either way. And that's all off of an RJ mismatch. Toppin noticing the mismatch, feeding him on the inside. Kicks it out, beautiful. Toppin gets a 3, and he has really, really, really improved that over this whole season, let's say. Now, let's fast forward. This is still in the first quarter. A lot of these clips are coming from the first and second because once we got to the third and fourth, it was pretty much our game. So we see Emmanuel quickly bringing the ball up. Mr. Sims setting a little slip screen. He goes. Now, what do we got for the options? For the options, he can kick back to Burks. He can kick to Sims in the center or Toppin out in the corner. And again, we just saw him hitting a nice open 3 from the elbow. Now we see him hitting one from the corner. Toppin has vastly improved his game, and this is going to go a long way because we have penetrating players like RJ, like IQ, like Randall, like Fournier. Shoot, even Burks can penetrate. So you got to have those kick-out options who can shoot. And Taj Gibson shooting that 3, Obi Toppin shooting that 3, those are really nice options, and I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. Moving on. 1 minute to go in the first quarter. What do we see? We see Emmanuel quickly, Jericho Sims, and Taj Gibson getting set up at the top of the key. This is interesting. Now, I noticed this last night's game versus Orlando, but I haven't really been noticing this in previous games. So now if you've seen this in previous games, please let me know because this is an interesting option. So what do we see is quickly in the center, Sims on the right, Taj on the left. He has the option to take a pick off of either of those guys. And this is what it's drawn for. And I think Taj kind of knows, quickly he's right-handed. He's going to go to his right. So Taj is kind of just like meandering. He's just there as an option. But we kind of know IQ's going to the right. So now when IQ goes right, Sims immediately rolls hard to the paint. We love that. But he's pretty much covered. He's got 3 guys all around him. Kicks it out to Taj. Taj decides to swing it to Grimes. Little slip screen. Wide open. Nobody covers him for an easy pull-up jumper to break down their defense. Love it. Moving on. This is almost the next play. 40 seconds to go. Again, we see two centers, two big guys at the top of the key with the point guard. Now look at Lopez. They're both calling. They know this is a setup to go left. Mitch, double high screen with Taj. That's a setup to go left around the horn. What does IQ do? He fakes it and he goes right. He shakes him. Goes right. Fakes the handoff to Grimes. Step back. 3-pointer. Wow, that's a big move. That's a big play. He had so many different options to go with. And he goes on it with himself saying, you know what? You think I'm going left? Two guys thought I was going left. Fultz thought I was going left. I'm not going left. I'm going right, and I'm getting this bucket. That's a big move. That's a play that we probably wouldn't expect from IQ earlier in this season. Let's go. Run the next play. Run the next play. So we see IQ with the ball again. You know, I love to see that. He dishes it off to RJ. And look at Mitch and IQ bottle up anybody trying to stay with RJ. So RJ's now got his guy on his back. IQ's guy kind of tries to help, doesn't really. Lopez wants to stay with the ball handler with RJ to cut him off his drive. And that leaves Mitchell Robinson for the easy, emphatic dunk. Now we're into the second quarter. Game's still a little close. We're still trying to take it easy. We got IQ, Mitch, Grimes at the top of the key. They pull Mitch out. They do a little pass here and there to see what the defense is going to do. And what the defense does is kind of surprising. They are in a zone defense. So in a zone defense, you can't rely on getting a mismatch. You can't rely on dragging guys out of the center. So we see this. Mitch is up at the top of the key, and Robin Lopez is deep in that center. He's not moving. So IQ gets the ball back, calls for a screen, swings it over to RJ. Taj hits him with the pick. RJ goes, and this should never happen. He gets all the way to the basket because they break down. They were too preoccupied covering quickly on the 3-pointer to step in front of RJ. And if they had stepped in front of RJ, he would have just kicked it to IQ. So you got to pick your poison. And honestly, letting RJ get to the basket is not a great decision for Orlando. And they paid for it there. So here we go. Another play. Here is IQ, ran off of a little screen from Toppin. Then Mitch hits Burks with a little screen. And again, we see the same setup as before with Sims and Taj. We see either you can go right off the Mitch pick or left off the Obi pick. He goes right because, IQ favors his right hand for sure. Toppin kind of knows this. He's like, oh, let me go see if I can get back door. Now they play it well. I think Toppin, if he actually bursts through, he would have beat him back door. But doesn't beat him back door, decides to go back out to the 3-point line. Now look at the defenders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nobody is near Mr. Toppin. Everybody's crashing the paint. So he can just do a little fake handoff to Burks, show and go, get inside. Now he did not make the basket, but the reason I'm highlighting this play is because it's similar to the last play with Sims and Taj. You have a pick on either side you can choose from to attack. And Toppin does a very interesting thing because he's a big movement guy. He wants to get back door. He wants to get those alley-oops, those backdoor plays, because he's fast. He knows he can beat them. But when Toppin sees IQ penetrating and the defense sticking with him, he gets back out to the 3-point line. And that's enough of a breakdown in their defense to get a clear lane into the basket. Now, despite the loss, it was a really good attack on that play. Now, here we go. By now, the game is pretty much over. Third quarter, 99-67. IQ bringing the ball up. And again, we see the Jericho Sims, Taj Gibson, Emmanuel Quickly little setup here. Same thing. He has two options. He's a little far to the left. So Sims sets him up on the right, and he goes with that one. Taj clearly knows. He's like, all right, I can see what's happening. Taj bails to the corner. Sims rolls hard, as he always does. And look at Mr. Grimes setting a back screen. What do they call that? A Spain pick and roll, I believe. To free up Sims. Love that. Love that. So basically, these highlights I really wanted to look at emphasize Emmanuel Quickly's growth as a playmaker, and also how Thibodeau has kind of been using different forms of the same thing. So now if you've seen my last couple of videos about my read and react offense and what I've been seeing, he does a lot of double high screen and rolls, okay? And we've seen this, we know this, it's a very common Thibs play. But now we're seeing, at least last night, is opposing side picks for the ball handler, where he can pick left or right. And now he's picking right more often than not because that's his strong hand. That's where he wants to go. But you have to realize, too, that as he progresses, he can go left. And this opens up. Now, let's say we run that play with RJ on the left side, or we run that play with Randall on the left side instead of Taj. And now suddenly you have a left-hand dominant player who can attack that side off of a mismatch or getting the first step off of that screen. So I was really excited to see the double high screen and rolls, especially with RJ Randall and the ball handler. But now I'm thinking about these opposing side picks, and it leaves a lot of options. And clearly, quickly, as we saw, he can either run the pick and roll, he can either swing it back out to the open player, or he can get, an alley-oop, or himself, he even fakes out the actual play and gets himself open. And that's big. That's what you want to see from a point guard, someone who can make the right play, feed his teammates when they're open, when it's necessary, or get it for himself. Like, those are the biggest things for a point guard, and that's what we're seeing with Emmanuel Quickly last night. So I'm just going to keep this short because I think the clips kind of speak for themselves, and if you watched that game, you know the New York Knicks are playing very good basketball despite what the record says or the, end of the season, etc. But I'm excited to watch the games, and I'm really hoping that you guys can pick out these nuances that we're seeing from one day to the other. So there's still a few more games left, I think 3 or 4. And I'm not hoping for the world, but I think what we're seeing is a very, very telling sign that this offseason is going to be exciting, all right? This offseason is going to be exciting to see Grimes, Quickly, McBride. Shoot, Fournier is going to come back, I bet. RJ, Randall. So we got a lot of ball handling options, a lot of shooting options, and a lot of intelligent, cerebral players, right, who can see what they're dealing with and attack it. And just like that, I think that's the bell. So thank you all for coming through the channel, checking out these analysis clips. Not only can IQ take his guy one-on-one, but he's running these plays, making the right decision. And if you're a Knicks fan, you got to be excited. So thank you for stopping through. Big Nick Burt with that Big Nick energy. I'll see you at the next game, baby. We got like one more week, and then we can all relax, all right? So let's enjoy it. Let's keep chanting. Let's bring that good energy, all right? Thank you all. Bye.
Burt knows basketball, y'all.